Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Felix.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, Wendy. Are you ready, Wendy, for today's presentation? Yep.
I would like to if possible, teacher,
To be the first one?
present to present tomorrow because
Oh, okay.
I have started something, but I think I don't have the whole idea that I would like to present.
All right. All right. It's okay. Let's see how time works today, right?
Okay.
All right. Very good. Very good. Okie dokie. All right. All right. So let's see, Tatiana. How are you, Tatiana? Everything all right?
Hello, good evening. Yes, all good.
Excellent. What do you do on the weekend? Did you go out anywhere? No?
Not too much, and just stay at my house and just chilling.
All right. Excellent. Good, good. All right. So, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Felix. Thank you, Ricardo, for being here. We have, let's see, who else I have here? We only have like 5 people connected right now. So you know the dynamic. You know what we're gonna do right now? So let's see. I just wanted to make sure everyone's ready right now. Ricardo, are you ready?
For what?
What for?
Yeah.
For the presentation, right? Which
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
You're talking about the one we did on Friday?
No.
No, the new one?
Yep.
Okay.
There is a
Yeah.
new one here. All right. So let me just let's see if we are on the same page right now. So just to confirm, who is ready for today's presentation? Everyone,
Okay.
everyone understood the dynamic of the thing? Yeah. All right. So we have 2. What about you, Fabricio? Not really.
Sorry, couldn't hear you. I was connecting my.
Oh, all right. All right. Jorge. Thank you, Jorge. All right. So I was just checking if you worked on the presentation for today.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people ready. That's good. Thank you, Anibal, Kevin, Jorge, Tatiana, Fabricio. Thank you so very much. Let's see. Hopefully I'll have more people connected. That's good. So let's take a look at this right here. Let me just ask Claudia just to make sure. Hello, Claudia.
Hello.
I have a question for you. I'm
Give
curious
me.
about something. Are you ready for the presentation?
I think so.
All right, excellent. So that is what 6 people here. So we're gonna start right now. If we cannot finish today, we can continue tomorrow. All right. So for those of you who are not ready, I sent the document. The document was sent like last week. It was sent by the coordinator of the program, by Gabriela. Let me look for it right now. It's in WhatsApp, I think. Yep. So it's a PDF with the description of the activity. All right. So for those of you who are not ready for today, I'll give you a chance for tomorrow. All right. So that's for Jorge and that's for Ricardo and Wendy. It's gonna present tomorrow. All right. So please rate the document. It's the last activity that we have right here is like the final evaluation that we have for this module. Remember that we don't have classes anymore until tomorrow. Tomorrow is the end, right? So we no longer have classes. So right now, let's begin. We have 6 people connect right now. I mean, 9 people connect right now. And I think there are like 7 people ready. So do you want to like volunteer yourself or do you want me to pick Who's first?
I would like to go first if that possible.
All right, so let's see.
I would like to go next. So
All right, so we have Tatiana first, then I'll have Kevin, and then
Me
who's
third,
ready?
fifth.
All right, so we have Tatiana, Kevin, and Claudia to begin with. Then you can volunteer to continue in the fourth position. All right, guys, so you know what to do. If you have something to present, you're ready to do it. I'll be just taking notes, and I'll give you any feedback if possible after your presentation. So Tatiana, your time is all yours.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen quickly.
All right.
Let me know if you can see it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me just move this here. Okay. Okay, so I'm ready, and I choose for today, to talk about the software developers type, and let's start. So let's start to understand what is a software developer. It is a professional, someone who is in charge of design, coding, building, testing, maintaining applications. 1 second, I have this here. That is, I can see the screen. Let me. Okay, sorry. Well, so we have this. I already mentioned what is a software developer, and basically is someone who make possible to become the business requirements into a reality, something that the end clients and user can see in a screen using a web application or a web or a mobile app, basically. So I listed here some of the things that a developer does. We have first design, and we have front-end developers. So the front-end developers are basically in charge of the UI, making sure that everything is according and easy for the end user. Let's say, for example, we have a header, the structure of a web page. For example, we have a header, we have a body with the right information, we have a footer with, for example, social media, and it's easy for end user, easy to use, also friendly with the end user, and something that they can see, and that is front-end developer. Then we have back-end developer that are the one that make the magic. We have, for example, that have knowledge in different programming languages, for example, C++, PHP, and Java. So that is probably not visible for the end user, but it is important. It basically made possible that an application it is interactive. So, for example, let's say when you have a form and you can add the information, for example, your name, your email, etc. When you click in the button add, you are saving that information in a place, for example, a database. So backend developers make sure that that information is in the right place with a high security level as well. So that is what is a software developer, and let's continue with what type of technical skills should have a software developer, and also about the soft soft skills that are important as well. So we have at first programming, and then we have SDLC, that means software developer lifecycle, software framework, version control, testing, and debugging. That are for the technical skills. So programming, because you need to know, to understand, and to be able to code in, for example, using Java, PHP, the different programming languages that I already mentioned, have a higher level of understand about those programming languages in order to build the application and the requirement needed from the client. Then I also mentioned the software development lifecycle. It is important that the software developer has an understand about what does mean, because it is important that from since the design to the end of the application, we have the design, we have the requirement, we have a cycle, and it is important that everyone that is involved in the project have that knowledge in order to apply in the project and have the best practices. Then we have also software frameworks. Sorry. In this case, it is important also because it will depend on for example, the programming language that you are using. You will able to apply different framework. Let's say, for example, if you are using PHP, there is a programming languages, you can apply a software framework, for example, one that is called Vue. In this case, because it is, more easy to build the application if you can reuse like a template code, you can save time and build in a better way an application. Sorry. Then we have version control. This because it is needed because you will work with a different people in your team. So it is when you are, for example, working in a task, another developer can work in a different task, and then at the same time, without losing time, and then just pull all this work in one place that is called, for example, repository. And so it is needed because it's always used in the different project that you will work. And then also it is important, this another skill that is testing and debugging, because we have, for example, a unit test, for example, in order that the code that the developer is creating has the higher quality. And also debugging to understand, where is the problem, where is the issue, and solve pretty quickly. So these are the skills that I consider are important, that should have a software developer. Let's continue with the soft skill. We have communication, teamwork, and collaboration, open-minded, problem solving, time management, ownership. Communication, because you will work with different people from the business to the developers. So it is important that you can communicate, your progress in the project pretty clear with everyone, and if you have any blocker as well. So it is important to maintain that communication fluency with the client and with all the team. Also, teamwork and collaboration. I miss an A there, sorry. This because, as I mentioned, you will work with developers, with QAs, with business side. So it is important also that you can work fine with the different people, even if you don't have the same ideas, respect others. And also I So, in the daily day that probably you will doing like programming pair with other developers. So just split the task and working for the same goal. So that's why it is important. Open-minded also to receive feedback. It can be, for example, from a QA analyst or probably from the business side. Do not take too much personally, just take that feedback and if any bugs, just solve and make sure that the communication is the right one, and just don't take personal. Problem solving, that is another soft skill, because you will, for example, in the meetings, you will probably a level, let's say requirement level, you will also providing solutions when you are in the meetings, when you are, coding, etc. You will always providing solution, different type of solution. So it is important that you have that in mind. And the time management, ownership, time management, because you will need to split, your time between the meetings that you have during the day, and then the tasks that you have, to complete. So it is important that you take the time to analyze, to split what you should do in order to complete and be able to be in the meetings. At the same as ownership in the difference when, we are discussing in the tickets or in the different tasks, it is important that have that ownership to share ideas and the knowledge about the project. So those are also the more important skills that I consider are, highlight for technical and soft. Let me go. And then I also consider important, to share like the salary of a software developer. In general, like have a range, for example, for some companies that are here in our country, in another that you can work remotely. So we have, for example, Aplaudo Studio, that we have the range around 2,000 to 3,000. We have various dev that I think is remotely, and we have from 3,000 to 4,000. And Roosevelt is here in El Salvador, and it is from 1,000 to is 1,000 around. So that are the salary range, and yeah. Let me continue. Well, I think that's it, and I share this like meme because I think it's funny. Like coding, debugging, testing, I can do this all day, but join meetings for 2 hours, I give up. I just can't. And yeah, that's it. And let me know if you have any questions.
Excellent. Tatiana, you did a great job. That was good. All the information was broken down perfectly so we can understand what you were talking about. That was good. That was good. Now, we're going to do this. You can stop sharing, Tatiana. Thank you so very much. Now, we're going to do this. Because of the time, I'm not going to be able to give you feedback right now, but I have everything in detail, okay? So I will type it and I will send it to you personally, all right?
That's good.
Excellent. Very good. So we can take advantage of the time that we have. But overall, Tatiana, you did a great job. It was very good. Now, there are some things, like very few things that we need to work on, but I will let you know. I'll send you a personal message, all right? So you can work on it. All right, so let's go with Kevin.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen.
All right.
Second. Okay. Let me know what you
Yes.
looking at. Okay. I choose Analyst Programmers because I felt identified with this kind of position. Actually, on my last position, I was used to say that I was todólogo. On English could be something like everythingologist or something like that. I don't know if that word exists, but I invented right now. Let's see what we have to do. So this kind of programmers, the analysts spend a considerable time analyzing. I was thinking I'll tell you some of my day by day to share my experience and share how is being a analyst programmer. So what do they analyze? Well, as first, they have to analyze all the system that the client have. Also, on my case, we are on a project which is Blackhawk. Blackhawk is our client, and Blackhawk has its own clients, right? So we start with the analysis of what the client wants. For example, Blackhawk has many clients. I can say some of them: Verizon, let me see, Duke Energy, T-Mobile, etc., Walmart. So as first, the client of our client sends a new requirement. So this new requirement is taken by the account manager. The account manager is the person who is like the bridge between Blackhawk, between us and Blackhawk's client. So they share what the client wants, and the client doesn't know how to do the things. They only knows what they want, but not how to do it. So we have to analyze what they want, because we have to implement that on the future, right? So we start this with an LOE. An LOE is a level of effort. This is a meeting where we met the account managers on a meeting. This meeting is called LOE requirement session. They share what the client needs. So after that, we have a week to start the investigation and analysis about what is needed and how we are going to implement this on the existing systems, because there are many systems. There is not only one. So we have to go to the ocean of source codes of a lot of applications and see where is the part that the client is needing and where it's going to be added. So after we have the investigation done, we have to share our investigation and estimation of how many hours we are going to need to do the development, right? So we have another meeting, which is called LOE governance review. The LOE governance review, we met the account managers and technical consultants. The goal of this meeting is to get the approval of our estimation. If we don't get the approval, we can ask for suggestion in the half of the meeting. For example, we can ask to the technical consultant, hey, what do you think? How many hours do you will put there? And they are used to share us how many hours we could put on a section, because we shared a document. This document is a spreadsheet, an Excel file, when you can see in every row, every task, and in every task on the next column, you can see how many hours we are going to take for every task, right? So after we have the approval, this approval is sent to the client, and the client says if it is okay or not with this hours estimation, because depending on how many hours we are estimated, that is gonna be the charge. Once I saw a requirement that I did on a month and a half, I think, and Blackhawk was charging $47,000 to its client. I am still impacted for that. It was a lot of of money. And I saw that because the account manager asked me for help to do the estimation on the part of him, because there are like two estimations, the technical estimation and the economic estimation. So I don't know why this person asked me for help, but yeah, it's a lot of money. Well, once the client gets approved the estimation, we have to create the solution. So creating solution starts with the Git task, as we are hearing after, sorry, before me. There is always the name of this application is Git. Git is a version managing application. You can have all the version of your application. So if you want to see the first version, you have it there. If you want to see the last version, you have it there. So the Git task consists on start getting the source code of the application from the last version and doing your branch where you are going to work. After you create the solution, you have to go to production and do all the testing, right? That's it, I think. You develop the solution. After that, you go to production and the client can see how it's working, what they are needing. And yeah, I think if you love puzzles, if you love Legos, and if you love thinking or solving problems, this job is for you. This is the perfect job for you. You have to think, to analyze a lot and think on how get the best solution possible. That's from my side, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, Kevin. It seems a lot of work, right? Yeah, it seems like you guys spend a lot of time analyzing things. So that's pretty hard. And I think it's stressful, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's very stressful.
Yeah, but the good things on the other side is that you like what you do, right?
Yeah,
So it's like less stressful, but still, you feel the pressure. All right, very good. The same thing, Kevin. I want to go ahead and send you the feedback personally in order to save time, in order to continue with the other presentations, all right?
Okay.
Excellent, very good. But in general, it was very good. Because you presented this topic from another perspective. That was very good. All right, thank you, Kevin. So let's continue with Claudia. Let's go, Claudia. The time is all yours.
Okay, hello, good evening, everyone. Let me share my screen right now. Can you see it right now?
Yes, good. Game programmers, interesting. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, well, the type of programmer that I choose is called game programmers. I don't know why, because I don't like play video games and this thing. But I think that right now, this is a trend in the world. So maybe I found it interesting. So let's start. The first things that game programmers are programmers who specialize in creating video games for various platforms, like mobile, as your cell phone, PC, another platform that right now are in trends, like Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, or something like that. The other things that these kind of programmers have to meet the client's requirements. So they are responsible for translating the idea that the user have into a functional an interactive gameplay experience. That means try to give life to this idea. And the other thing that these programmers have to be knowledge of audio system, animations, and videos, because if you notice, if you play this video game, you can see that all the time has audio, animations, some videos, and it's very interactive. If you notice all the things that I mentioned before, being a gay programming is not a piece of cake, because we need to have a lot of this knowledge and to stay out of the day with this new technology. And the other teams, this programmer could be a good teamwork or a good playing in a collaborative teamwork. Why? Because they don't work easily. They work together with another programmers, or for example, when you work in a game, in a big game, you need to keep in touch with other programmers, with designers, with artists, with the client. So this is a collaborative work. So as Tatiana mentioned before, in my case, I tried a list of the topics and was very curious because some of these skills is the same for these kind of programmers. So the first thing is ability to write clean and efficient code. The idea is not only to write a code, the important point here is to write a code that be functional and efficient without problems to performance. The other thing is that they have to be a knowledge for programming language like C++, Java, Python, because I read about this one, and this is the most common language that they need to know. The other thing is that they have to have experience working with game engines or frameworks like Unreal Engine, Unity, and Game Maker. And knowledge of 2D and 3D animation software. This is related because when you work in a small project or in a project where when you are only the gamer program, you have to have this knowledge in order to create all this animation, all the animation that you are using in your video games. So maybe you need only a basic knowledge, but it's important to have this one. And the other thing is knowledge with the games production process, because it's a flow that you need to follow, because the first thing that you have is an idea. Sometimes you create as a prototype, and this prototype doesn't have all the functionality, but this prototype has the idea for this video game, and you need to have if this works or no before you do all the work that I need to create this video game. And the other thing is that you have need to extensive knowledge of games, genres, and trends. So that I mentioned before, this is a technology, devices that is constantly change. So you have to stay up the day with this information. in some cases, you need to have a strong mathematical skills. Why? Because sometimes you need to do some calculations. For example, in the video games Angry Birds, if you notice when you throw the bird, the system calculate the angle, the velocity of this bird. And that I mentioned before, ability to work well in a team. The other things is problem solving skills. You need to identify what is the problem that you need to solve, define a strategy, explore more solutions than one, and try to do this action actionable. Or this solution, sorry, actionable. And the other is a strong communication skills. Why that I mentioned before, and this is related to the teamwork. You work with another people. So the good point or the main point here is that all the teams should be in the same page. And the last one, but not least, is deadline. Ability to meet deadlines and client requirements, because as all the software, you have a day that you need to meet to deliver this software. So you have this ability to organize your work, your tasks, and try to meet this day. And that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, good job. So that was a lot of technical words. Excellent. So you are not this type of programmer, right?
No,
No.
I am a quality engineer.
All right. Okay. So it seems very interesting for those who like this stuff, like playing and all that stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Claudia. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, right? I'll type your feedback and I'll send it to you personally. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Great job. Okay. So let's continue. Who else is ready? We only have like 20 minutes. So we have time for two more. We need to maximize our time. So we need two people. Two more. Aníbal, do you want to go next?
Yeah, maybe I can go next.
Luis next. Okay, Aníbal and then Luis. Aníbal,
Okay, can I share my screen?
go ahead.
I chose the game programmer, just like Claudia,
All right.
and I will start right now. The first, I want to start with the definition of the game programmers. They are professionals who have skills in designing, developing, and implementing the software codes that bring video games to life. They need a unique blend of technical expertise, creativity, and problem-solving skills for this role. That is at least for me, it's a very exciting role. I would like to be a game developer, but in this country, I don't think I can. And first, we have the game programmer roles. They have the role to implement, define the game logic. They need to design and implement the core game mechanics, rules, and algorithms to make a game. Like if they're designing a shooter game, they need to design things like the weapons that they need to have, the feedback of the guns that they will use in the game, the mechanics the player will be able to jump or not, and things like that. They need to develop the gameplay systems too, the character movement, physics, collision detection, and also artificial intelligence for the enemies, or if they use an NPC player, NPC characters, and they have to design an artificial intelligence for them. And they need to create intuitive and visually appealing interface for players to interact with the game with buttons, pretty nice, and they need to have sound, and they must be satisfying for the player when they are in the menu, and it's an important part of the game design. They are also responsible for networking, integrating multiplayer functionality, and they enable online gameplay. And that's a complicated part because we as players just worry about the latency, and we want that if we hit a button, the action in the screen just happens. But the game developers need to make that possible, even if our internet connection is bad. And we want that even if the connection is bad, our movements are registered correctly in the game, and they are responsible for that. Also for performance optimization, they ensure the games run smoothly on various platforms by optimizing code and resource management. There are some languages that can help with that, but they have to master the language. They have to have a great knowledge of the language to find hacks and workarounds to do the job. And they have to have skills in programming language. They need to have expertise and proficiency on language such as C++, Java, or Python. Also, the most used language in game design is C# because of the game engine Unity, which use mostly C# for the scripts. And they must have a good, solid understanding of mathematics and physics to create realistic game environments and interaction. And I have a personal experience with that because I have tried to program some simple games, and I had a problem with gravity because it is something that we take for granted. I mean, we interact with it every day. So you think that you know very well how gravity works, like if you throw something in the air and that things fall down. But if you want to implement that in a video game, you have to make calculation of the gravity, the jump speed, and mass of the object, and some things like that, and it becomes complicated. You have to start paying attention to the minute details, and they also need to have a strong analytical and critical thinking abilities to find complex, fix complex issues and devise efficient solutions. They must have a effective communication and teamwork skills to work closely with the designer because they will be working in a great team, and the team maybe will have a artist, a sound designer, a 3D modeler, and they must communicate between each other to ensure the game is going well. And they must have also the ability to learn and adapt to new technologies and programming frameworks as the industry evolves, because a game is a thing that can take years to be completed. So could you start making a game today and finish in 2029, for example, and the technology maybe advancing that time, and you have a game almost done, but you have to start again from zero because there's a new technology out there, and you have to adapt your game to that new technology. And some challenge that the game programmers face are the performance optimization, because the systems are different. You may have a PC with a good PC that can run games very smoothly, but other person could not have that PC, and you have to make sure that your game runs smoothly in every computer, regardless the computer and the technical capabilities of the computer. Cross-platform development is like the same. Ensure your game runs in console, mobile devices, and consoles and PC. And you have to meet deadlines and very tight deadlines and the pressure of delivering high quality games, because in this industry, if your game have bugs or is it delivers a bad experience to the players, the people often get angry with the developers, and they even have received death threats, and that is a very pressure. That's too much pressure for a developer. They need also to stay up to date with new technologies such as virtual reality or augmented reality. There are some games that make use of that. Pokemon Go is an example. They use AR to show the Pokemons in the real life, and also they need to track down and fix elusive bugs that impact gameplay or they impact stability. But even if you have a software, a code that doesn't have bugs, you need to test the game balance too, and the feedback of the user. Like if you hit an enemy, you need to have a feedback that you hit it. Like the enemy became threat for a moment, or the sounds and the feeling, and that's an important part too. And I have a example of one problem that an anecdote of a problem that a programmer faces in a game. In the game Fallout 3, the game engine couldn't support a train for the players to ride on, so they had to make the train cabin hat, and they placed an NPC with that hat under the ground and make that NPC run around to simulate the train moving. And I think that is an example of creative problem solving. They maybe could program a working train, but the train will be used only in that part of the story. So they will make a lot of work for just one scene. So they had to think in a quick solution, and they delivered this. And I work in the backend, so I have developed APIs and some web apps. And sometimes I had an idea about a feature that I wanted to implement, but I had to scrap that idea because when you're learning, they always tell you that your code should be clear and simple for the next developers to understand it, because you can leave the company and the next programmer that takes your place should understand your code. So I think in the game programmer area, there are more space for ideas like that. And I think that's amazing. And that's it. And in conclusion, I think that game programmers are very important, are, I think, like pillars of the entertainment industry. And even if you play video games or you're not, and you have to acknowledge them for making a great job in bringing entertainment to people and like that. And that's all, I think.
All right, excellent. So it seems a lot of work, and I hate mathematics, and I know that you deal with a lot of them, right? So that's job is not for me, definitely, because I hate them. All right, thank you, Aníbal. Great job. I'll send you the feedback personally to your WhatsApp, okay? So let's continue with Luis. Luis, you're gonna have exactly 10 minutes to finish, all right?
Okay, I think it's going to be less, but let's see.
All right.
Okay, let me share the screen. And I think, yes, you can see it right now.
Yes.
Okay, so when I went through the document, I noticed something. The software engineer concept that was on the paper was kind of a misconception of the software engineer. So instead of picking one of the type of developers that we read on the document, I want to talk about the misconception of a software engineer. Because most of the time, every time that someone thinks in a software engineer or in a developer, always tend to think that we are technicians, that we are able to fix printers, that we are able to fix computers. So that is something that we might know it, but that is not our profession. So I wanna just make that that remark over the industry. And also another misconception is we are a software management. So we are able to, I don't know, upgrade your Windows version, upgrade your Chrome version, or maybe we are able to install more application on your computers. So again, this is something that we can do, but it's not really our profession. And also something that, I don't know, maybe in movies, every time that we see code on a screen, we tend to think, this is a hacker, and a hacker is able to, I don't know, open doors or open and bank doors just with a few clicks or just with a few line of codes. But in fact, there is a lot of information, a lot of experience that you have to get before you can become a hacker. You really have to understand how software works, and again, this is something that is not really a software engineer, right? So if we think in a software engineer, what we really do, or what is our day-to-day, basically is we build software, right? So we have a lot of pieces going around into our application. I think some of my peers mentioned that we build front-end applications. What is a front-end application is what customers, what users can see on a screen, right? The little pictures, the phrases, the letters, the icons. So that is something that we build with code. Also, I think Aníbal was talking about backend. Backend is mostly how we can interact with data. So we can save it, we can get it, we can delete it, and so on. So that's really what we do on a daily basis. We build software through code. We also do this kind of test. It's not really like the one that I don't remember the name, was talking about the quality, right? Because those are like a huge process that we follow in order to deliver a product. But when we are coding, we also throw some tests because we want to be sure that the thing that we are coding is behaving as expected. So we do that. We automate tests through code again. And the idea is to try to cover all the scenarios, all the business cases that we have to deliver to our customers. Also, something that is really important is teamwork, because as Aníbal said, we have to communicate between peers, we have to communicate with the management of the project and also with our customers, because we need help, because we need to remove blockers when we are trying to find out something. because at the end we had to build something and we had to deliver that to our customers. So we have to be able to let them know how the feature is going to be working, how the feature has been developed, and so on and so on. So teamwork working is a really important piece on the software engineering area. Also, I've taken a lot of ideas from Aníbal because he mentioned a lot of those concepts, provide solutions. So because mostly what we get is a problem, something that we have to solve. So in most of the cases, we have the problem, but we don't have the solution on paper and either in our minds. So we have to provide some kind of solution. We have to be able to communicate that solution. And so we analyze what is the problem, how we can break it down in small pieces, so we can try to deliver a small task and build something on top of that. And also we provide expertise because, as you can notice on the paper, we have so many types of developers, front end, back end, game development, apps, and so on, right? So something that we do as a software engineer, we collect experience. So every time that we develop something, we are learning something. So the next time, instead of doing that thing from the scratch, we can just retake some of the expertise, some of the experience that we gathered on the previous solution or in the previous software. So that is something that we also provide as a software engineer. And basically, this is my presentation. This is something that I just want to go over because, as you can see, a software engineer is someone that has a lot of expertise. It's not someone that is just throwing code or typing a few lines of code to see what happened, right? We try to do something every time that we interact with an application or when we interact with a customer. And that's it. That was my presentation. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Excellent, very good. Thank you, Luis. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because definitely for those like me or like the common people, maybe we do have like that misconception of what you do, you know, and that was very clear about the job that you have, that you guys have, and it seems like very hard, right? That's the reason why, you know, the high salaries, right? Because there is a lot of work to do, right? It's pretty stressing, you know, to have a lot of, just by looking at that screen and seeing that little, you know, colors and stuff like that. No, that's not for me. Definitely, you guys are doing a great job. Yeah, this job is not for everyone. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Luis. You did a great job. All right. So the same thing as the others. I'll have just like 2 or 3 things for you, Luis. I'll send you a message with those feedback. All right. It's small details about that. All right, guys. So let's see for tomorrow. We have Fabricio, we have Wendy, we have Ricardo. Who else? Today we covered 5 people. Tomorrow, I think we have time for 5 more. All right. So the number 1 will be Fabricio, then Wendy, then Haiti, then Jorge, then Rodrigo, Felix. All right. So tomorrow we're going to try to maximize our time even more, because it's going to be the last day. We don't have any other day to cover any other presentation. All right. So practice your presentations and try to cover the most essential part of it in order to, you know, so we can all pass tomorrow. All right, guys, I thank you very much for your time, for your presentations, for your oral presentation, and for the visuals that you brought and presented today. Well elaborated. So you're doing a great job. So I don't have anything else to say. but see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. so we can complete the presentations and the module. All right, and that's it. All right, guys. So enjoy the rest of the night. See you tomorrow, okay? Take care.
Okay, bye.
You-
Bye, everyone. Take
Take
care.
care.
Yeah.
Good night.